Alright, Twitch stream, where are you? Hopefully it isn't too far away. There it is there. Looks like the stream's up in there. Oh, yep, audio is working as it should. The stream's up, the chat's up, we're all good to go. And it's absolutely fantastic. Now, to everyone who's watching right here, right now, just give it a few minutes. We're still allowing a couple of drivers to join in, so we are going to be a little bit late for the start of this round. So just be patient. We'll be starting in a few minutes' time. Once the screen cuts to black and the loading screen pops up, I'll begin the intro and begin the stream like proper. It's good to see that everything is working as it should be. People coming in. Hello, hello. Hopefully this won't take too long. We're not going to have a very big field for this Portuguese Grand Prix. I think, looking at the numbers from the attendance sheet, we're going to have a maximum of 15. We should have 14 for the start of qualifying. I think Wogboy will be a tad bit late. He usually is a tad bit late for the start of these events. Hopefully it won't take too long now. We're just waiting on Ryan Bell, who recently had some, to put it mildly, technical difficulties with his PC. But it seems like it's running, and he is trying to join as quickly as possible. He's also trying to set up I think he's trying to set up his rig as well, his steering rig, which is going to take a little while, take a few minutes at the very least. A few more people joining in, that's good to see. Quickly just check the Discord, see what's happening here. This seems like it's going to take a while. Seems like it anyway. Hopefully it won't take too much longer. There's no arguing going on in the tier 1 chat, which is good to see. Just trying to be nice and patient, allowing for as much time as possible. Hello, Blevs. Yeah. We're all happy little Vegemite. We are indeed. Man, it would be nice to have EA tracks on rather than listening to the thing, but I don't want this stream to be copyrighted from here and back. It won't go down too well with Twitch, I feel. Those EA tracks. New McLaren, Bags Liddell. New is the interesting word that you use there, because it's not exactly the newest pieces of kit. That's for sure. But yeah, look, when I saw it, the sort of first thought that popped into my head was, well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I mean, it's not a bad design that they had last year. They've obviously added in a few things here and there to the overall design, which, you know, fills in a few gaps. Not that we'll see them in F123. A few of those sponsors on the car, some of them can't be shown on video games due to legal purposes, so it's going to look a bit more empty. But for the most part, it's a nice looking car. And it's a very, 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 very similar story with Aston Martin as well. Their car is, it looks pretty much identical to last year's car. Bit of a worrying thing, really, considering the performances that they had last year. I know Sebastian Vettel managed to claw out a few results here and there, but I think that's because of Sebastian, not necessarily the car. So Fernando will have his hands full, I think, for 2023. But he got what he wanted. He's got the multi-year contract going ahead into 2024, so he has what he wants. But does he have a championship-winning car underneath him? I seriously doubt it. Yeah, I doubt it'd be fast, yeah. Can you commentate for the Invitational again? I probably could. If people want me to, I can do it. All depends on whatever you fellas organise. You can have other people do it, you can have me do it. I don't really mind either way. So... Man, you good, Bell? That I know your setup went through the ringer. Yeah. Computers are Bell put in the Discord. Computers are so annoying. I can't help but agree. Can't help but agree. Damn technology. But now we've got Ferrari to look forward to tonight. I can't wait for it to be the exact same livery as last year, just like with McLaren and Aston Martin. Oh, I can't wait for that. But in all seriousness, for the sake of the competition of Formula One, I hope Ferrari bring their A game for 23. In 22, it looks so promising for them. And then after about 4 rounds, it just collapsed. All of their momentum early in the season completely disappeared, and Verstappen went on a tear. Broke a very long-standing record of most wins in a season, so... yeah. I hope, for the sake of competition, that Ferrari are more competitive. And probably Mercedes as well. Don't think that's how it works, D8. There should be... I don't know if there's any bots working in this stream. So I don't know if I'll be able to command a bot to send you a link to the Discord. If you haven't joined it, of course. Your name doesn't look familiar. But yeah, no. Can't just get an invite and join, I'm afraid. Oh, man, this is long-winded. I should have waited. I didn't think it would take this long to bring in both Bell and Wogboy. I only thought it was going to take a couple of minutes. So, this is going to take a fair while. Quickly check the Discord again. That's not the Discord, those are notes. Discord. Oh, man. Where's that? That's Bell. Well, that should mean Orlando Rex. Who's that? Oh, they just disappeared. Oh, that means only Wogboy. And Wogboy should be joining mid-session. He's always joined mid-session through qualifying. So... I think Plebs is about ready to give the ready up signal. Hopefully. Waited long enough. We're only 10 minutes late. I've been talking for 10 minutes? Oh my goodness. I've been talking for 10 minutes and not a single bit of driving so far. Gee whiz. And you may have noticed as well, I'm all alone for tonight. Mr. Pato, Mr. GeForce Pato will be commentating Tier 2. That hopefully has gone a bit more smoothly than Tier 1. Well, there's already up signal from Captain Plevs. We'll be getting underway very, very shortly. Alright. Screen cuts to black. We'll start off the intro. Only 14 cars for the start of qualifying. Hopefully Wogboy will be able to join and increase the field up to 15. But that is the most that we're going to get for this event here in Portimao. So, after a long-winded intro, hello everyone and welcome to round 3 of the Pacific Tier 1 Championship here on Race Spec Esports. I'm Lane Everingham, your commentator for this event, and tonight we'll be racing at Autódromo Internacional do Algarve for the Portuguese Grand Prix. This 4.65 kilometre 15-turn circuit was constructed in 2008 and introduced to the Formula 1 world in 2020. Thanks, of course, to the COVID-19 pandemic. In Formula 1 management's desperation to have as many Grand Prix as possible that year, the nation of Portugal would return to Formula 1 after a lengthy 25-year hiatus. The most unique part of this circuit is its roller coaster-like nature. No racetrack on the calendar has such dynamic and dramatic elevation change. This is particularly noticeable in areas such as Turn 4, Turn 8, Turn 11, and the final corner, Turn 15. All 4 of these areas will prove to be the most accident-prone sections of the racetrack. A couple of other areas to look out for are the 2 DRS zones that lead into the prime overtaking spots of Turns 1, 2, and 3, which tend to work together for overtaking, and the tight left-hand hairpin of Turn 5. Outside of these areas, drivers will be pretty hard-pressed to try and make moves happen. Now, before we focus fully on this qualifying session, there is a bit of news to go through first from last week's race over at Barcelona. Only a single incident report is what I could find. It was incident between Sire Luke and GeForce Leo, which was a collision at Turn 10. The steward's verdict was that GeForce Leo was found at fault and he was given a 5-second time penalty and 1 penalty point. And this would mean that Leo would jump from P5 to P7 in the final results. Looking at the Drivers' Championship, it's Red Bull driver Seb who leads the way on 46 points, followed by his teammate GeForce Leo on 41. F1 Ferrari Pro is next on 37, followed by Barcelona race winner GeForce Crichton, who was absent for today's race. He's on 30. Next is Big Al on 21. He'll be looking to redeem himself after what happened during the Barcelona race. He was royally screwed out of an opportunity to win that race. He well and truly had an opportunity to win, but unfortunately he lagged out of the session, which ended his chances of claiming the top spot. But he's currently 5th on 21 points. Next is Sire Luke on 20. He's tied with his teammate Plevs, who is just behind him in P7. And P8, Gez, also on 20 points. So 3 drivers on the same amount of points in P6, 7 and 8. Next is Ryan Bell on 16, followed by Spicy, also on 16 points. And that rounds out the top 10. Looking at the constructors, Red Bull Racing are leading on 87 points. They've got a commanding margin over Ferrari, who are stuck on 50. 37 points separating the top 2 after 2 rounds. That is quite a big margin. Next is Alpine on 40, followed by Mercedes-Benz on 39, then McLaren on 36, AlphaTauri next on 23, followed by Alfa Romeo on 21, Aston Martin on 16, Williams on 13, and Haas at the bottom with 0 points. But both Haases are in the race today, so they've got a solid chance of launching their Constructor Championship fight here in Portugal. Down towards turn 5 goes Destiol. I've heard a fair chunk about this driver, making his way out of turn 5, the hairpin, and up towards turn 6, then towards the tricky double right-handers of turn 7 and turn 8. Turn 8 is definitely the most noteworthy of the two corners. You can see it's a really steep uphill section just after turn 8. And through that section, the car has extremely little grip, so you have to be so careful on the accelerator. Similar story through turn 11, as Destiel demonstrated. Heading around turn 13 towards the penultimate corner, turn 14. It's important that you get a nice run out of turn 14 so you can maximise the speed you can carry around the final corner and down the main straightaway. Or in this case here at Portugal, it's up the main straightaway and then eventually down. Destiel will set a 17.197. That is the benchmark for everyone else to try and beat. Ferrari Pro making his way through the opening 3 corners as Bags Liddell jumps up to P2, 17.5. Ryan Bell now takes pole position away from Destiel with a 17.154. GeForce Leo. Oh, as Wogboy's left the session. Hopefully he'll be able to rejoin as soon as possible. Huey, a name that I don't recognise. It's meant to be Gares in that seat, unless he's changed his name. I'm not sure. But Huey in the McLaren making his way through the 3rd sector. ACW, you reckon there's going to be a 16.7 at the end of this? Well, I suppose only time will tell, ACW. It's nice and dry. You can see there's no cloud cover as well around the racetrack, so we shouldn't get any wet weather interference whatsoever here in Portimao, as Huey will cross the line to set a 17.153. He's just beaten Ryan Bell by 1,000th of a second. Wogboy has rejoined the session. That's good to see. Going to ride on board here with Jimbin. Give you a guided tour of this 4.6 kilometre racetrack. Down the main straightaway, we go down a steep hill here towards turn 1. Hard on the brakes, down to 6th gear, clipping the first apex well, around turn 2, and into the hairpin of turn 3, 3rd gear. Short shifts up to 4th, 5th gear through turn 4. Very, very tricky left-hander. Then, yeah, Jimbin sort of demonstrating why that left-hand is so tricky. It's so easy to understeer wide, and he's going to shortcut. Fair enough, I suppose. It's there to be used, I guess. But yeah, it's so easy to lose control coming out of turn 4. The back end of the car doesn't like to stay stable, so you have to be very, very careful. We're going to ride on board with Big Al. We're going to use him to give us a guided tour of this 4.6 kilometre 15-turn racetrack. Into turn 1, braking at about the 70-metre mark. Around turn 1, around turn 2, into turn 3, the tight hairpin, keeping it in 4th gear, gently applying the accelerator, 5th gear through turn 4, using plenty of the outside curb, heading down the back straightaway towards the hairpin of turn 5, braking just after the 100-metre board, down to 4th gear, not bothering to use 3rd through there, interesting, just carrying 4th, around turn 6, and into the notorious double right-handers of 7 and turn 8, 4th gear, short shifting to 5th, eventually reaching full throttle just before the crest, down the hill, around turn 9, back up the hill, around turn 10, and into turn 11, short shifting up to 5th gear at the apex, down the hill, through turn 12, back up another hill into turn 13. You can really see why I call this racetrack a roller coaster like racetrack. So many ups and downs, it's ridiculous. Around turn 14, coming out of the penultimate corner, using plenty of the curb on the outside, and around the final corner, turn 15. He'll make his way back onto the main straight, jump over the crest, cross the line to set a 16.9. So there we go. Provisional pole for Big Al, the first driver in the 16s. Jinbin having a second crack at a flying lap, making his way into turn 5. No invalidation at turn 4 this time around, so he has improved. Oh, he almost crept over the white line there at the exit of turn 5 though. Around turn 8, pay attention to the throttle gauge. There, eventually reaching full throttle. You have to wait so long until you reach full throttle coming out of turn 8. You have to be so patient with the car. A bit of a wiggle out of turn 11. You can see how much of the circuit Jimbin is using over the course of this lap. Coming around turn 14. Reaching full throttle, using plenty of curb on the outside. And around turn 15, back onto the main straight. Crossing the line, he'll do an 18 flat. Now get this, he is 1.1 seconds off the pace, just under 1.1. He's 12th. Oh! And I guess he wasn't too happy with the lap. He decided to vault himself over turn 1, rallycross style, and the car didn't like that too much, has to be said. Players on a flying lap, Seb on a flying lap as well, our current championship leader. Down the hill, making his way around turn 9, up the hill and around turn 10. You can see the drivers using a very wide line through turn 10. It's something that I had to learn in F1 2021 when this track was introduced. You have to take an incredibly wide line through there, through turn 10, so you can open up turn 11 as much as possible. Something I struggled early on because I don't use racing lines, so a lot of the time I'm guessing where I need to put the car. Something I learned is that you really need a wide line through turn 10. Crossing the line, Seb will jump up to P6. 1 minute 17.287. He is 1/10 of G-Force Ford in P5. He's now making his way out of the pits. There is Spicy making his way out as well. Ryan Bell beginning a flying lap, making his way out of turn 4, using a healthy amount of curb. Look at the sparks flying from underneath the AlphaTauri as Ryan Bell is up by just over 1/10 of a second through the first sector. Out of turn 5, again using plenty of curb there at the exit of the left-hand hairpin. Through turn 7 and into turn 8, 4th gear, short shifting up to 5th, eventually reaching full throttle as he goes downhill. Through turn 9, absolutely flat out, into turn 10, hard on the brakes, down to 5th gear, through turn 11, down the hill, heading towards turn 12. He's up by 2 3/4 tenths of a second to the middle sector. With these sort of improvements, he will take pole position away from Big Al, but he just needs to make sure he doesn't make a mistake through this final sector. Out of the penultimate corner, 1 corner remains, a notorious turn 15, full throttle all the way round the right-hander. Up towards the line, it's a 16.862. He's taking pole position away from Big Al. Huey getting himself ready. Destiel on a flying lap, making his way around the final corner, hugging the inside line all the way round. Heads up and over the crest, up towards the line. He jumps up to P2, 1 minute 16.889. He is 27 thousandths of a second off Bell. Not much at all separating the top two. What about Big Al? What can he do down the main straightaway? What kind of peak speed will we see from the Alfa Romeo? 330 kilometers an hour into turn 1. Round turn 2. Into turn 3. 4th gear. Nice and steady on the exit. Around turn 4. Short shifting to 5th. What will the clock say to the first sector for Big Al? It says he's up by 56 thousandths of a second. Needs to find a bit more time to try and challenge Bell and Destiel though. Just needs a bit more time. Huey on the lap as well, making his way over the crest and down the hill towards turn 9 now. Flat out, sporting a nice goldfish helmet as well. Around turn 10 into turn 11. What does the clock say to the middle sector? He is down by 1/10 of a second, but he's apparently purple, according to the minimap. Oh, and Big Al has invalidated this flying lap attempt. 40 has just jumped up to P3, 1 minute 16.924. He is currently 600ths of a second, or 58,000, no, sorry, can't back. 62 thousandths of a second of pole position. Huey completes the attempt, does not improve. Ecamm jumps up to P3, 1 minute 16.9 exactly to the thousandth. Currently a Haas 2-3. Plevs on a flying lap attempt, making his way through turn 1, 6th gear, back on the accelerator, through turn 2, into turn 3, down to 3rd gear. Will he short shift? Yes, he will. Nice and tidy on the exit, no wheel spin or oversteer. Out to turn 4, no massive amount of understeer through there. So he got the rotation he needed, and he's up by almost 2/10 to the first sector. Jinbin just behind him as well in 14th position. Currently a margin of what? 9 thousandths of a second between P14 and 15, and they're what, 1.2 seconds off pole position? Not much at all. Out of turn 9, heading up the hill, round turn 10 into turn 11. What does Plevs do to the middle sector? Oh, he improves by just over 3.5 tenths. He's found time. Jinbin didn't clock his middle sector, so I'm not sure just yet. Around the penultimate corner goes Mr. Race Spec. Short shifting up to 5th gear. Reaches full throttle just before the exit of the corner. Carrying the throttle all the way around the final turn. Turn 15. Back on to the main straightaway. Plebs will set a 17.593. Jumps up to P12. Jinbin jumps up to P11 with a 17.515. So as it stands right now, folks, we have, what? 7.5 tenths? Is it? No, just over 8 tenths separating the entire field so far. Would of course be more impressive if we had all 20 drivers, but 15, it's still incredibly tight, with only 8 tenths separating the field. Well, boy, he'll be getting himself ready for another run. Currently P9 with a 17.359. He and GeForce Leo, both in the 17.3s. Need to do a little bit of improving to try and jump up into the top 5. Wogboy would have to improve by just under 4 tenths of a second to try and jump up into P5. See if he's capable of it. Making his way through the final sector now. He's in Hamilton's car, you can tell by the helmet. Makes his way around turn 14. Switches on the battery, heads round the final corner, back onto the main straightaway with 3 minutes left in qualifying. Ferrari Pro is out on track, currently P12 with a 17.5. Wogboy will begin what could be his final flying lap attempt. Peak speed into turn 1, 327 kilometers an hour. Round turn 2, towards a hairpin of turn 3, down to 3rd gear. Short shifts to 4th. A lot of short shifting around here at Portimao. Out to turn 5, down the back straightaway, towards turn 4, towards turn 5. He's up by 21 thousandths of a second. Need to try and find time in the middle part of the lap. You're not expecting to gain a great deal of time through the first sector. It only has 4 corners. Where you're bound to find a lot of time is here through the middle sector. Plenty of technical sections you have to negotiate, so plenty of technical sections for you to make a mistake. Well, boys, putting together a pretty tidy lap, it seems, right now. Heading around turn 11 and down the hill towards the middle sector split. He's up by 85 thousandths of a second. With that sort of improvement, he can jump up to P7. Can he find any more time here in the final sector? He makes his way around turn 14. 4th gear short shifts to 5th as he exits the right-hand sweeper and around turn 15. The final corner on the racetrack. Keeps it nice and narrow on the exit. He'll head over the crest, up towards the line. It's a 17 flat. He found some time alright, found about 2 tenths in that final sector, just behind Big Al. Well done. Big Al, speaking of which, getting himself ready for his final flying lap attempt, just past an AlphaTauri. Is that belt? It would be. Alright, let's keep our eyes on the top 5. Big Al makes his way around the final corner and back onto the main straight. His teammate T-Mac has just retired in the pit lane. He did rejoin recently, so he must have disconnected. That's really unfortunate for T-Mac. But he'll know he's competitive. He's not too far behind anybody at the bottom of the order. Out of turn 2 goes Big Al, and around turn 3. Nice and steady. And around turn 4 onto the back straightaway. DRS open. What does the clock say? He's down, but only just by 1,000th of a second. What about Bell? He's up by 76 thousandths of a second. He has found some time in the first sector. Gee whiz, that's a lot, considering it's only 4 corners in the first sector. Big Al heads over the crest and down the hill towards turn 9. Flat out around the left-hander. Up the hill and around turn 10 and 11. Bags Liddell has retired from the session. He'll be starting in P14. Up by 49 thousandths is Big Al now. What about Bell? He's invalidated the run. Does he have time left in qualifying? I don't think he does. No, there's a checkered flag now. So Brian Bell cannot improve. Can Big Al? He's got one corner left. Absolutely flat out here through the right-hander. Back onto the main straightaway, up towards the line for Al. It's P3 with a 16.895. Destiel has invalidated this final run. Ecam's on his final run right now, but he's down by 5 seconds, I think, to the first sector. And GeForce Ford has spun at turn 8. He won't be able to improve. Huey's done. Seb is up by half a tenth to the middle sector. Can he try and improve? Ecam retires in the pit lane. He's done for the session. Onto the main straight, up towards the line. Seb improves by 1 position. P8 for the Red Bull driver. Ferrari Pro well down. Jinbin, has had an accident. He's missing a front wing. His session is done. So there we are. A bit of an anticlimactic end to qualifying. A lot of people unable to put their final runs together. But still quite remarkable. The top 4... separated by what? 48 thousandths of a second? If you include P5, that's 68 thousandths of a second. It's quite close. And that's quite close between the top 5. Must be said. 62 thousandths separating the top 5 cars. Ridiculous. So, the results from qualifying, it will be Ryan Bell who starts from pole. Destiel will start from second, followed by Big Al in third, then Ecam fourth, and Ford rounds out the top 5. Again, 63 thousandths, nothing separating the top 5. Next is Leo in P6, followed by Wogboy in 7th, Seb 8th, Huey 9th, Spicy 10th, Ferrari Pro P11, followed by Plebs in 12th, Jimbin in 13th, Bags Liddell in 14th. T-Mac will start from the back. Hopefully he stays in the session throughout the race. There we go. Just over 8 tenths of a second separating the entire field. Separate that. That's cool. I love it. That is cool. Right. Race time. I don't think I got a weather report from anyone. Find it a bit funny as well. There's more people watching than people competing. Alright, fellas. Keep it tidy in the chat. Come on. Alright. Overcast. Slightly. They're still blue. So, we might have some wet weather. I don't think I got a report from anybody. So, I have absolutely no clue what the weather is going to be like during the race. No clue. I suppose I could try and judge it off who starts on what tyre. If a lot of them start on the mediums, I would think rain would be coming. So the funny thing is, the mediums can last a long time all dry. Well, there we go. Good to know. Thank you for that. But an interesting note about that medium compound tyre, and an interesting note about Portugal in general, is that the tyre wear doesn't seem to be too bad. Pit window to move off the mediums onto a set of hards is lap 15 to 19. And this is a 33 lap race, if I recall correctly. Yeah, it's 33. So the mediums can go beyond the halfway mark, is what I'm trying to say. Gives the drivers a ton of flexibility, especially if there's any mid-race safety cars and whatnot. Can start on the wow, it's loud for a far-away camera. Man, I hope they fix the audio in F1 23. Gee whiz, it's all over the place in this game. Let's have a look at the tyres. Everyone's on the... Well, isn't that something? I thought we might have a mix here because the medium tyres allow that. Nah, every single driver is on the hard tyre. Well, that throws the strategy stuff out the window. Away it goes. It's disappeared. All gone. Alright. Well, we can get rid of that. Don't need the details. We know what tyres everyone's on. It's fine. Just need the gap graphic. That's it. Alright. Well, that would mean that just about everyone's on the same strategy too. Regardless if there's safety cars and whatnot. Everyone's on the same strat. So, if there's a safety car midway through, about lap 9 maybe, beyond that, people just pit onto the medium compound tyre, try and carry those to the end if they could. Because, yeah, the mediums seems like they can last a while. Especially with the pit window that the game suggested back in Elite Series. Alright. Leaders are now making their way back onto the main straight. Now Ryan Bell will be starting on the outside, heading towards turn 1. Not necessarily a disadvantage. This is the cleaner side of the racetrack, so he should get a better start as Big Al disqualifies himself. Oh no. But if Bell doesn't get a good start, then Destiel has the inside line for turn 1. And that's a Red Bull spun round. Who's that? Is that Seb or is that Leo? That's Leo. And there's T-Mac. So what's going on here? Jinbin's been disqualified. He must have missed his grid slot. Alrighty. Bit of shenanigans going on the formation lap. But all 15 drivers are now lined up ready to race. We've got 33 laps in front of us. And we're still waiting. What are we waiting on? Everyone's lined up. Someone not lined up? No, everyone's lined up. We have people disqualified who are appropriately adjusted. Uh-oh. The players has left the session. I'm not sure what that means, but we've got 5 red lights and we're underway here at Portimao. We might have a lobby restart. I reckon we're going to have a lobby restart here. It's 4 wide, 3 wide into turn 1. Gee whiz. As we head around turn 2, heading up towards turn 3. Yeah, Ryan Bell has just jumped from P1 down to P11, so... Hang on, I'll quickly check the Discord. No, I haven't got any messages, so I guess it's all on. I guess. So yeah, shocking start from Bell. I thought he was just trying to muck around, try and do something. No, I think that's just a genuine start. GeForce Wogboy has just made up 6 spots on the start. He now leads. I am very confused. Is there a lobby restart or no? Or is this it? Like, what on earth is going on? Wait a long time. This has got lobby restart all over it. No messages in the Discord. I guess this is it. That was a legit start. Alright. Makes no sense to me, but alright. Okay. We're going with it. Wogboy leads. Ford in second. Ecan third. Wogboy in 4th. Followed by Big Al, Destiel, Ryan Bell. Then Seb, Huey. Bags Liddell made up 4 spots. Spicy. Currently in a battle with Ferrari Pro, P11. Then we got Ferrari Pro, T-Mac, Jimbin, and Plevs at the very back. Man, bit lost on this start, that's for sure. Around turn 4, Plevs has rejoined the session. Oh, tight on the exit there as they head down the back straight away towards turn 5. Down the inside goes GeForce Leo, spinning in the background is T-Mac at the exit of turn 4. And the drivers making their way through single file, tumbling down the order. Sorry, jumping up the order was Huey. Up to P9. He just jumped up. Oh, he's lagging everywhere. That's why. Over the crest, down the hill, heading towards turn 9. Ferrari Pro gets a 3-second time penalty. What on earth with Bell? Destiel in 6th. I didn't notice a comment in the chat. It looks like his front wing is okay. He might have damage. Yeah, I think so too, Kebab, considering all this randomness that's happening. Oh, gee whiz, that's tight between Leo and Destiel. That was very tight. I do believe there was contact between the 2 cars as they head around the final corner and back onto the main straightaway. Yeah. GeForce Ford, new fastest lap, 21 flat. Destiel getting by GeForce Leo. It's by down the inside here into turn 1. Didn't need any DRS to make the move stick. Oh, contact! My goodness me. Leo backing up at turn 1. Side-by-side action here at turn 3. Entering turn 4. Spinning, goes back, Liddell. What is going on? Oh, that was Jinbin jumping around. My goodness. Oh my. Oh, God. Reckon Bell might be desync. That could be a real possibility. There could be a couple of drivers desynced. I'm not certain. Suppose we'll tell in a few moments' time. Heading around turn 10 and 11, then down the hill towards turn 12. Wogboy's still leading, I guess. Huey's left the session. Okay. Well, I've got nothing in the Discord, KD. It's all empty. So, this is it. No idea what's going on. The start looked like it was just a muck around one, considering that Bell and Destiel just lost a whole chunk of places, and Wogboy magically ended up in the lead. So I was guessing that this was just a false start and we start up again. But no, this is legit. I am so lost right now. I'll do the best I can. Commentate the race going on. Oh, alright, Wogboy, what are you going to be doing? Defending like crazy from Ford, I imagine. 40, I would assume, would like to get by, get some clear air and try and see if he can pull away. Heading over the crest and down the hill towards turn 9. The problem is, as it was demonstrated in qualifying, the field is quite close in terms of competition. So, yeah, it won't be easy to pull away here at Portimao, that's for sure. Ecam right behind in 3rd place as well. Big Al 4th, Estiol in 5th. Still looking like a pretty solid points haul for Haas at the moment too, with Ecam and Estiol. It's not what it could have been, considering their places after qualifying, but they're still in a potential race-winning positions. They haven't dropped away just yet. Here comes G-Force Ford on the attack. Destiel sets a new fastest lap, 20.7. Around turn 1. Around turn 2 into 3. Wogboy's too far behind to try and send it down the inside, so he'll stay behind for now. Yeah, still nothing in the Discord. Yeah. This is legit. Alright. Ryan Bell getting by GeForce Leo. Well, the Bell was desynced. He would have hit Leo there at turn 5. So he can definitely see Leo. Don't know if he might not be able to see some other driver though. But he can definitely see Leo. Drove right around him. Alright. Heading around turn 11. Down the hill towards turn 12. Ecam close. Not close enough. Oh, Bell. Gee whiz. 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Yeah, it is short-circuiting a bit. Just don't really know what's going on. This doesn't feel like a legit start to a race. It feels like a muck-around race. A 3-lapper. No, this is legit. We're going with it. Going with the flow. Around turn 1. Into turn 2. Up towards turn 3. Ecam applying pressure to the back of Wogboy. Can he find a way by? He won't have the advantage of DRS on his side. Wogboy has DRS himself, so he negates the effect. Oh, Big Al! Almost had a little accident with Ecam there. He was very deep under brakes at turn 5. Almost walloped the rear end of the Haas, but he managed to pull it up quite well. Around turn 8, heading up the hill. Over the crest, then back down the hill towards turn 9. And through this middle sector, you won't be able to do too much. All you can do is mitigate time loss as best you can. Try and set up a run on the main straightaway heading towards turn 1. Best opportunity to try and pass any other spot around the racetrack, overtaking just really doesn't happen. Ferrari Pro putting a bit of pressure on the back of Spicy. Ferrari Pro might be able to get by as well thanks to the fact he will get DRS. And Spicy currently doesn't have any and won't get any down this main straightaway. So we might see a pass here. Might see a pass between Destiel and Big Al. Destiel closing in, looking to the inside here into turn 1. Oh no, that's pretty bad. That was pretty shocking. You weren't there at all, mate. Just spun Big Al around. Yeah, no. Just because your front wing's there doesn't mean you're there. Poor Al. Spun round, drops down to 12th. Alright. Yeah, that was quite sloppy, I feel. If you didn't properly send it down the inside, you have to back out. Down the hill towards turn 9. Ford trying to drive away. Got 7/10 in hand, but not extending the margin. Was a bit, wasn't it, Kebab? But, yeah. Well, Big Al's got a lot of work to do, and I'm sure there's going to be an incident report on that one. So, around turn 14, towards turn 15, Wog Boys closed the gap a little bit to the leader. He's now back to within half a second of Ford. So Wog Boy demonstrating the pace he's got. Get a bit of DRS assistance down the main straightaway, but I feel he might be a bit too far behind to try and make a move into turn 1. Yeah, showed his nose, but didn't fully commit to anything. Yellows are out, it's Bags Liddell spinning at the exit of turn 14. Backs the car up and then gets going again. Spicy still hanging on to P8. Ferrari Pro hasn't found a way by just yet. Been keeping an eye on that interval. No one close enough to attack into turn 5. No, not quite. Around turn 6, up towards turn 7. And again, we're not going to see much with these guys through here. You're really just stuck in a train. Can't make moves. Could try and send it potentially here down the inside at turn 10, but I reckon they'll just turn messy very, very quickly. Another opportunity is maybe the hairpin here at turn 13, the left-hander. But, again, yeah, you're just better off waiting until you get DRS down the main straight. Yeah, they do, KD. Arx Bags Liddell, he's got one already. Poor Bags, got a fair chunk of work to do. Not that he'll mind too much. So long as he finishes, he'll score points. Top 15 score points. We only have 15 cars in the event. Yep. Ooh, Ryan Bell closing in on Seb. Look at him, he's right on the back of the Red Bull. Now into turn 3. Can he find a way by? Round turn 4, nice and steady. Using some battery, using DRS. Pulls alongside. Sends it in. And fair play to Seb. Left the door open, but gets a nice over-under. Doesn't get enough traction to get the move done, though. Back on Ryan. Just has to stay behind. Up and over the crest, you can see the flashing red lights on the back of Ryan Bell's car. So he's low on battery. Seems that Seb is faring a bit better. He's got 13%, I think. Oh, sorry, 20%, that says. Next to his name. Low on fuel, though, I've just noticed. 0.3 under. I wonder if you save fuel or burn fuel around here. That's something I don't know. Alright, Wog Boy, you now lost a fair chunk of time. 1.1 seconds behind. Oh, he's going to be vulnerable to the two Haas's here. Right on board. Up the hill, over the crest. DRS open on the Haas. Oh, look at the straight line speed difference. Oh, it's night and day. There goes Ecam, and Destiel is too far behind. Or chunk of understeer though at turn 1. Destiel looks to the inside here. Puts the nose to the inside. Wog Boy though has the inside line for turn 4. So he keeps P3 for now. DRS open on both cars. Destiel moves to the inside. Into the hairpin. T-Mac a 3-second time penalty. Wog Boy can't get enough drive to keep the fight alive at the exit of the hairpin. So he's down to P4. Ferrari Pro and Spicy. Battling for P8 and P9 here. Making their way around turn 7 and 8. It seems that Ferrari Pro has finally moved in front of the McLaren. He's got a bit of clear air. 1.9 seconds worth of clear air. We'll see if he can catch up to Leo if he can. If not, he's going to have Spicy and Ples. Big Al is in this train. Jinbin's in this train too. Oh, 40, what have he done? He spun out at turn 3. How did you end? He's left the session. What? What happened? Alright, it's a Haas 1-2, I suppose. Ecam from Destiel. Well, hopefully 40 can rejoin as soon as possible. That's going to sting. Leading to 12th. He was in control. And it's just about he was about to re-enter the track. He disconnects. He did go off the track, ACW. He was in the gravel trap at the exit of turn 13. Weird. Not on his POV. Alright, so that's the AI driving off the circuit then. Right. Okay. I'm starting to get it now. That's very strange. Well, that's a pile of disappointment for Ford. Down in 12th position now. Got desync. Okay, so Huey, you got desync. Right. Yeah, you're currently ghosting for me. Interesting. Alright. Well, it's a Haas 1-2 now. Ecam from Destiel. Wogboy in 3rd with Ryan Bell right on his gearbox. Heading around turn 3. Up the hill and around turn 4. Now Bell, can he get by? Oh, Wogboy still has DRS. I figured as much, Huey. Especially after what happened at the start. Seemed like such a jumbled start from everybody. I thought we were going to have a lobby reset. But it seems like, yeah. I don't know either. I've got no clue, Kebab. So, I'm just a lonely commentator. I say what I see. Not in charge of anything. So, bouncing around legs said everyone was leaving the session. Yeah, okay, yeah. I've seen that before. Oh, Bell, down the inside of turn 14. Side by side on the exit. He gets in front. He has the inside line. There he goes. He's through into 3rd. Bit touch and go, but they made it stick. That's the most important thing. Can Wogboy counter? Don't think so. It's so tough to make a move down the inside. Destiel demonstrated that, I think, pretty well. Now Seb's joined this. He's 1 second behind this train, so he's going to join the battle. Big Al down the inside of turn 1. He makes a move on Spicy. So that's P8 now for the Alfa Romeo driver. He has to catch up by 2 seconds to Ferrari Pro in P7. Considering Big Al's pace, I reckon he's going to do that pretty quickly. Big Al had some pace. And he doesn't have a damaged car, I think, after that spin too. He shouldn't have a damaged car anyway. Alright, up the hill. Up over the crest. Down the hill towards turn 9. Ah, yeah. Oh, it's one of those lag starts. Okay, fair enough. Experienced a couple of those in previous games. Well known, where people get different starting lights. So people can take off earlier compared to others. I'm really surprised that wasn't a lobby reset then, if that was the case. Oh, and here comes Bell! What the? Is that a bit of trickery from Ecam? Did he want to give up the position so he'd get DRS to get the position back? Was that what he was doing there? Was he playing some 8D chess? I reckon he was. That would be the only reason why he would slow down Why is that Wog Boy? Why is that lower down from where it should be? Oh my god. All you can do is laugh at this point. Alright, so Destiol's now trying to pull away. He's got a margin in hand. And I'm guessing all that Ecam's going to do is provide a roadblock for his teammate. That's why he dropped back behind Bell. Heading into that DRS zone. He wants to maintain this second. Basically hold up everyone behind. Try and let Destiol pull away. Smart tactics. Don't really know how Bell, Wogboy or Seb, who has now joined the fight, I don't know how they're going to try and overcome it. See if he does it again. They're coming out of turn 14. He's got a margin. No, he doesn't back off. Does have a little bit of battery in hand. Doesn't he have enough though? DRS open. Bell's out of battery. Ecam covers the inside line. Bell looking around the long way. Here into turn 1. It's tight. Very tight. But Bell gets in front. Whew. That could have turned nasty very quickly. But both drivers get through quite well. Spicy gets a 3-second time penalty. DRS open on Ecam's car. He can't counter-attack here into turn 5. He's too far behind. Additionally, Seb has moved up into 4th position now in front of Wogboy. So Seb, 4th. Next target will be Ecam in 5th. Not to mention, drivers behind aren't too far behind either. Leo 1.4 seconds behind. Ferrari Pro 1.3. Big Al 1.8. Hasn't closed in a tremendous amount on Ferrari Pro over the course of a few laps. So maybe Al might have a bit of damage. Maybe just trying to get through these laps as best he can after what happened at turn 1. Oh, Leo, bit of a moment there at turn 13. Had a big old wiggle there. Lost him a chunk of time, and now Ferrari Pro is within a second. T-Mac, a 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings, and I reckon we're getting pretty close to the pit window. There goes Bell into pit lane. He's in. So, at the beginning of lap... Oh, and a 5-second time penalty for speeding. Well, he did move quite hard to the right. He well and truly sent it in. Sent it in too hard, I'm afraid. That undercut could have worked though. He is now on the medium tyre. That undercut could have worked. He's in clear air. He's essentially given himself a license to push. Unfortunately, with that license came a penalty of 5 seconds to be exact. Yeah, that's right. 8 seconds worth of penalties next to his name. Bags gets a penalty now. That was at turn 2. Must have run wide, I would guess. Destiol, comfortable margin, out in the lead. Ecam 2nd, Seb now 3rd. Wogboy in 4th position. Keeping with Ecam and Seb as best he can. Ecam will be looking to try and pull away from this man, Seb, and he's doing that. The gap has increased to almost 1 second between the Haas and the Red Bull. And there is the 1 second marker. I reckon Seb's got DRS. He should have DRS here. Race leader Destiol's in. Seb's in too. Pulls it up very nicely from Seb. Pulled it up a tad bit early just to make sure he didn't get a penalty. Set of medium tyres at the ready. Ecam a time penalty. It must have been at turn 2, maybe turn 1. Destiol new mediums on his car. Now where does Bell come out relative to those two? Destiol's leaving the pit lane. Seb, he's just leaving it now. So Bell should have better tyres for at least 2 sectors here. Should be able to close the gap somewhat on Destiol. That's 1.5 now. 1.4. 1.3. Down the back straightaway. Bell doesn't have a lot of battery left as well. He spent a lot of his battery. Around turn 5, 4th gear. Up to 5th gear. 6th gear. Gap's now 1.2, 6, keeping it 6, down to 4th for turn 8. Short shifts up to 5th. The gap has shrunk to just over a second. through turn 9, up the hill and around turn 10, into 11. He's now under that second marker. Oh, but Destiel's pulled away a little. Back up to a second. Wogboy pits in. Destiel, his tyres should be up to temperature by now, one would think. Heading around the final corner, he should have maintained that 1 second gap. And I do believe he has. No DRS for Ryan Bell. Ferrari Pro, a 3-second time penalty. Sees on the back of G-Force Leo. Down the back straight away towards turn 5. Leo has got enough of a margin to keep P2 for now. Keen to see when these fellas decide to pit. As Wogboy's under a fair chunk of pressure from Seb. Red Bull drivers all over the back of the Mercedes. Heading out of turn 4. Oh, Seb had a run. He now looks to the inside, heading towards turn 5. He's got a car in front. Oh, contact! Unnecessary contact there. Seb tried to open up turn 5 as much as he could. He moved a bit to the right, but Wogboy was still there. That could have been really, really nasty, but fortunately nothing too major came from that. Too major anyway. Around turn 15. That's not Ferrari Pro game. That's Big Al, who stays out, mind you. Top 3 are in. So we have a new race leader. Big Al returns to the front. And I believe he'll be hoping for a safety car at some stage. Try and help him out. Bit wide there at the exit of turn 1. I saw that. Might have been a warning. Might have been. We'll wait and see. Destiel back up to 4th. Bell 5th. Ecam will come out in 6th position. In front of Leo, Seb. There's Wogboy moving through. So the 3 drivers who've just passed these two being Leo and Ferrari Pro, these guys should have their tyres up to temperature. They should be pulling away, and that's exactly what they're doing. 1.7 seconds is the margin between P8 and 9 right now, and that's going to continue to extend for at least another sector. By which point the tyre situation should be a bit more even, and Leo and Ferrari Pro should stop losing as much time as they're losing right now. Gap's increased to 2 seconds between Wogboy and Leo. Well, Bell doing all he can to try and keep company with Destiel. Big Al finally pits, so he's not going to try and run long. Hope for a safety car. He comes in. Chuck on a set of mediums, go to the end. Jin Bin coming in too. Spicy is your new race leader. DRS this time around for Ryan Bell. Get that drag reduction assistance down the main straight. Into turn 1, the gap has shrunk by at least a 10th. Ecam now moves up to 4th, Seb to 5th, Wogboy to 6th. Big Al, hello. He's on the back of this cube. He is going to lose time though. Again, tyre temperature. Talked about it before. Plevs moves into the top 10. Jinbin, after his stop, down to 11th. Seems that 40 is back behind the wheel of his car too, in 12th. Not where he wants to be. Yeah, if I was in his car right now, I would not be a happy chappy, especially after a promising start. Spicy, when are you going to pit, bud? When are you going to pit? You're just going to keep going? Stretch the tyres out for as long as you can? Pray to the racing gods that there's a safety car? Or are you going to pit in here right now? Stays out. He's going to keep soldiering on. Try and take a gamble. Hey, why not? If you finish, you score points. That's all you need to do. Scoring something is better than scoring nothing. But I'll tell you what, scoring a win, best possible thing you can hope for. I think for Seb, the only way he can score a win is by staying out for as long as possible. Bags Liddell having a moment at turn 11, and Ferrari Pro getting by into P7 now. So he gets in front of G-Force Leo. His next target will be G-Force Wogboy. He's got a fair bit of catching up to do, though. Gap of 2.5 seconds between Ferrari Pro and Wogboy. Wogboy keeping Seb company here. 0.4 of a second separating these two. Seb has the upper hand. He's got track position as well as no penalties, unlike Wogboy. He does have 3 seconds, if I recall, next to his name. Yes, 3 seconds next to his name. Those penalties will become ever more important as the laps tick down and we get closer to the checkered flag. It seems that Wogboy, though, is still a bit too far behind to try and challenge Seb. Seb maintaining about half a second to 0.6 or so to Wogboy, keeping the margin nice and healthy. Ryan Bell, meanwhile, trying to close the gap to Destiel. It's now shrunk to 5.5 as he makes his way into the hairpin of turn 3. Spicy still continuing. Yellow flags are at its T-Mac, who has spun. Fortunately, there's plenty of runoff area around the racetrack, so it's quite difficult to have an accident that's resulted in you going into the barrier. You can still have accidents, though, and that's what's happened to Ferrari Pro. Down to 12th now. Less than ideal day for Scuderia Ferrari, to say the least. So, yeah, not great at all. Big Al, 0.4 behind Leo. Can he find a way by the Red Bull? I think he can. I really do feel bad for Big Al as well. Shown so much pace over the opening 3 rounds. It was really upsetting to see what happened to him at Barcelona. Put on a hell of a display. Should have won that race if it weren't for a DC. And right here, he was set for potentially a top 5 until that moment with Destiel at turn 1. That's Spicy, he'll be moving off the hards onto a set of mediums. Go on to... He should go to the end of the race on those. Here comes Big Al. Simple move with DRS open. Down the inside, he'll take P6. Spicy will come out behind Plevs. Here comes 40. Oh, and there goes 40. Well, that's well negotiated by both drivers. That could have turned nasty, but they got through it okay. So now everyone should be set to go to the end, except for Huey's AI here. Still on 21 lap old hards. Alright, the gap is sitting at 0.6 of a second between the top 2. Although penalties are surely going to determine this race. I'm sure Bell would like to try and fight for it on track. Even with the 8 seconds that are now next to his name. Jinbin, Ferrari Pro battling for position. So Jinbin down to 12th. Ferrari Pro up to 11th. Jinbin doesn't try and counter here at turn 13. Stays behind. Around turn 14. Not too many battles going on elsewhere. We got... Well, I say a battle between Seb and Wogboy. Again, that gap has not shrunk to under 0.4 of a second between these two. So I don't think they're going to be battling anytime soon. Leo's keeping up well with Big Al. He's still 5.5 behind. He realistically needs a mistake from Big Al in order to try and get back by. So I suppose we'll keep our eyes to the front of the field. Over the crest down the hill towards turn 9. 5.5 separating the top 2. Around turn 11 down the hill. Round turn 12 up the hill again into 13. Around turn 14 now the gap has shrunk to about 6.5. No, sorry, it has increased now to 0.7. So Destiel and Ryan Bell, they're currently pretty equal in terms of pace as Plebs gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. DRS open on the Alpha Tauri. down towards turn 1. Not close enough to try and battle the Haas just yet. Though I have noticed with Destiel, he has saved battery. He's now up to 33%. 35% now. Compared to Ryan Bell, stuck on 13 in the teens. So yeah, Destiel has the upper hand in terms of battery life. It'll be really, really difficult for Bell to try and overtake Destiel. That's for sure. No, Bell isn't leading the standings. Leading the standings is this guy, Seb. The two Red Bulls are actually leading 1 and 2 in the Drivers' Championship, and as a result, they're leading in the Constructors as well. But yeah, Seb, I think, is on 46, followed by his teammate Leo, who's just got a time penalty. He's on 41. Ryan Bell has actually not had the best of starts, if I recall. If I look at the championship table, Bell's 9th in the championship on 16 points. Less than ideal. If I recall, he did get a time penalty back in Interlagos, which did demote him down a place. And I don't believe he raced at Barcelona, if I remember correctly. So yeah, it's actually Seb who leads, followed by Leo on 41. Then Ferrari Pro on 37. GeForce Crichton, who isn't here, is next on 30, with Big Al rounding out the top 5 at 21 points. That's right, yeah. I keep forgetting that. Bell had that massive PC issue where it essentially detonated on him. It's quite remarkable that he's here. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, a lot of these guys are quite crazy quick. Unbelievable levels of quick. But Bell, yeah, I don't think he can do anything to try and attack the lead up. Destiel's saving battery. He's almost at 50%. He is saving so much battery compared to Bell. Ecam's on 25, Seb on 22, Wogboy 29, Big Al 22, Leo's on 40. He hasn't been using his battery at all. Destiel, he's commanding the race out in front. Got battery in hand. Bell's got none. Trying to keep up with the race leader. Doing everything he can, but yeah, not quite enough. Bags Liddell spinning at turn 8. Rejoins safely and gets a move on. Let's pay attention to some of the other battles, shall we? On track. Getting that period now, better bring up the penalty situation, of which there are a few penalty situations, to say the least. So in this train of cars, who have we got? Got Leo leading. No, we don't. We have Plebs leading it. He's got 3 seconds. GeForce Ford has 3 seconds. Same with Spicy. Ferrari Pro at the back of it has 6. So not only is Ferrari Pro worst place in terms of track position, he's also worst place in terms of penalties. Got some speed underneath him though. He's right up in behind Spicy's gearbox. So they head over the crest and down the hill towards turn 9. Yeah. But again, as I've said, through this sector you can't do anything. Just gotta wait. Be patient. Don't run wide and get yourself a warning. I saw that. You don't want to run wide. So easy to do. As well, you can look on the totem pole on the left, the amount of penalties we got. That was a reset. I saw that dot move. That could have been a game reset. If you drive deep enough into the infield, the game will reset you. Bags Liddell spinning. That's at turn 7. He now falls behind Huey. He is not having a fun time here at Portugal. His main goal is to finish, and that's it. Ferrari Pro down the inside of turn 1. Gets by Spicy. He's now into P10. Can he catch up to GeForce Ford and Plebs in P9 and P8? That's the new question. Yellow's out again. That's Jimbin again at turn 1. Plenty of yellows. No safety car, though. As I mentioned before, the runoff areas around this circuit are ginormous. So if you do manage to crash into a barrier, you've done a pretty good job of it, as Ferrari Pro had a moment at turn 5. He's now back behind Spicy. And that's a margin of 4 seconds. So yeah, he won't be challenging these three anytime soon, it would seem. We've got a new battle on. 3-car fight for P4 on track. Ekam's pulling away. He's now got 3 seconds over Seb. So Ekam, if he can keep that margin the way it is, he'll be able to secure a podium finish. Still got a fair chunk of work to do though. But here comes Wogboy and Big Al. Big Al drawing alongside, looking around the long way here into turn 1. This is quite audacious, but Wogboy lets it happen. Just lifts off, lets Big Al through into 5th place. Doesn't want a bar of it. He just wants to finish. Bell is closed up. Bell as well and truly closed up. What's going on here? Gap was 0.2 of a second at the hairpin there. Interesting. Ghosted Bell as well. No obvious damage that I can see. But how did they get that close? I reckon you're right, Kebab. Oh, righto. Weird. Very weird. Better keep a better eye on that interval towards the top. I'll keep an eye on this though, because we do have a battle materialising for 4th. Bell has to do a lot of catching up to do if he wants to try and attack Destiel. He is closing in though, 5.5 tenths. But I reckon Big Al's going to make a move here on Seb, and it's going to be a very, very simple move. Round the final corner, back onto the main straightaway. 4 tenths is the gap. Watch it shrink. Gap's now 3.5 tenths, 3 tenths, 2.5, 2 tenths, 1.5 into turn 1. Maybe ascend here at turn 3? He thought about it. Had that little wiggle to the right. He definitely thought about it. Ford leads the session again. Well, he's going to lose a position to Spicy. Speaking of losing position, Seb loses one to Big Al, who moves now into 4th place. A nice recovery after the start. Seb now under a bit of pressure from Wogboy. He can let him through and just let the penalties do the talking. He doesn't have to battle him on track. With 4 laps to go, or 3.5 laps to go, it's all about survival at this point. Especially when the guy behind you, who's trying to battle you, has a time penalty himself. There's no point battling them. Let them through, do their thing. Just stick with them, gain the positions at the end of the race. Simple. Doesn't look as good, from a spectator's point of view, as Ford has rejoined, but I'm afraid he's already lost P9 to Spicy. So Ford back down to 10th. Ouch. Well, Bell has... I didn't think this was possible considering Destiel's situation in terms of battery and the pace he was able to show. Bell has well and truly put the hammer down. Down towards turn 5, looks left and right. Being real aggressive behind the Haas. Around turn 6. Again dumping the battery. Around turn 7 into 8. They climb up the hill, over the crest and down it towards turn 9. Through turn 10. Gaps at 3.5 tenths, down to 3. Out of turn 11, using plenty of the racetrack on the outside. Into turn 13. Up towards turn 14. Game, you got to give me better camera angles than that. Ferrari Pro 3-second time penalty. He now has 9 seconds next to his name. Destiel has pulled away a little bit. Just had a look at Destiel's battery situation again. That is impressive. Up to 55%. He has not spent even a little iota of battery. Has he got fastest lap out of curiosity? No, he doesn't. Can he challenge it though? 1 minute 19.1 to beat. Maybe that's what his end goal is. To save up as much battery as possible. To try and go for fastest lap at the end of the race. Seb is all over the back of Wogboy. Yeah, he's too far behind now. He was right on the back of him at the exit of turn 3. Thanks, Trigger. But not close enough here to attack into turn 5. Alright, Destiel, what do you got then? Got 60% battery, what are you going to do with it? We'll see as soon as he makes his way onto the main straight, I suppose, for the final lap. Makes his way around turn 13. Around turn 14 as 40 gets a 3-second time penalty. Yeah, potentially ACW. He does quite well around here, Spilly. There's the battery usage. It's the final lap now. Lap 33 or 33 here for the Portuguese Grand Prix. I reckon Destiel's going for fastest lap. Let's get the sector splits up, I suppose. Have a look. Around turn 3 and around turn 4. Does he dump the battery again? Yes, he most certainly does. Down towards turn 5. He's up by 71 thousandths. If he wants fastest lap, he'll have to improve by just under 0.2 of a second. Around turn 7 and around turn 8. Climbing up the hill now, over the crest. Back down it and around turn 9. Using some battery again. There's Huey's AI in front, providing a slight distraction too. Not much that Destiel or Huey can do about that, as he's now down by just over 1/10 of a second. So unless he's going to magically find 3/10 here in the final sector, and there's T-Mac on soft tyres setting a new fastest lap, blitzing it with an 18.6, so he'll take fastest lap. But what a performance from Destiel. Though I imagine there's going to be at least one incident report regarding him. But for now, he is the winner of the Portuguese Grand Prix. Ryan Bell will cross the line in second, should hold second too, and does. Ecam will finish third, Big Al in fourth, followed by Wogboy in fifth, Seb fifth, Wogboy sixth. Bags Liddell sets a new fastest lap. Leo crosses the line, Plebs 8th, followed by Spicy in 9th, Ford 10th. No, he's not. Wow. That has to be one of the stupidest things I've seen. Well, he is going to be classified, but he's not going to finish 11th. Actually, remembering Ford's history, that's the second stupidest thing I've seen him do. Stupidest thing I've seen him do was a race at Imola that he absolutely threw away. He just put it into the wall, Pato. He was fed up with the car and he put it into the wall, but the problem was he hadn't crossed the line yet. Ryan Bell given driver of the day for his performance. Time for the podium celebrations. And what a day for Haas, especially considering the fact they scored 0 points in the first 2 rounds. This is a huge haul for them. Destiel wins the Portuguese Grand Prix. His teammate Ecam will finish in third. Ryan Bell will complete the podium places in second. No, afraid not, ACW. So, the unofficial results of the Portuguese Grand Prix. Destiel is your race winner by 9.1 seconds over Ryan Bell in P2. Ecam will finish third, making it a Haas 1-3. Big Al will finish in fourth place. Nice recovery after his spin with Destiel at turn 1. Championship leader Seb will round out the top 5 places in fifth. G-Force Wogboy P6, followed by Leo in 7th, Plevs 8th, Spicy 9th, Ferrari Pro round out the 10. I will elaborate on that later, Pato. Jinbin 11th, T-Mac 12th, Ford 13th, Huey 14th, and Bags Liddell 15th. These 2 drivers a lap down. Don't think Huey will be included in the final results, as that was his AI driving about, so I think Bags will gain a position out of that. But what a random race. I think that is the most polite way of putting it. There's a lot of colourful words that you could probably use to describe this race. I think the least colourful is random, and I'm going to stick with that. But there are plenty of other words I could probably use to describe this race. But random, I'll stick with random. But yeah, with G-Force Ford, it seemed like there was a huge heap of desync at that particular moment, because it looked like he had an accident and then disconnected. But apparently what happened was he disconnected way before that, and the AI drove off into the gravel trap for whatever reason. And then just before the AI rejoined, it then popped up on my screen that Ford disconnected from the session. Very strange. I probably have seen something like that, just haven't seen it for a long time. But yeah, as ACW mentioned, because they're all PC guys, I can't really do interviews tonight. So apologies for that. And apologies for the randomness of this entire stream. It took 10 minutes to get started from when the stream initially began. I didn't think it was going to take that long to get everyone in, considering we only had 15. I thought it'd take 1-2 minutes max. It took 10. Had a good qualifying. That went really well. Exciting stuff. Race, though, was a complete meltdown. And I thought we were going to have lobby restarts, which didn't happen. So it led to a bit of a sloppy beginning from me at the beginning. So, because I honestly thought that we would restart. It looked like such a shambolic start. I thought we were going to do it all over again, but no, we kept going, and yeah, we had the race that we had, I suppose. Bit random, out of the ordinary. I suppose it's all done. But no, congratulations again to the top three. Destiel, Bell, and Ecam. Well done on getting your podium places. But, right. I think it's now time to wrap up the stream, I suppose. Very little else to talk to. Hopefully, next week everything goes a bit more smoothly than what happened here tonight. Hopefully. We've had solid-ish races with Crossplay. This is probably the worst one we've had so far. I've done Elite Series stuff, that seems okay. I've done America's stuff, which has run pretty well too. But yeah, it's here in Tier 1 where we're having a few issues. Hopefully they get resolved sooner rather than later. But I think, with everything said and done, it's time for us to end the stream. I've been Lane Everingham, thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next week for round 4, the first sprint round of the championship at Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez for the Mexican Grand Prix. Until then, it's goodbye.